Now tonight, a major FBI raid in Tampa's luxury Avila neighborhood is linked to what's being called a religious cult. Sky 9 captured this video you see here showing FBI agents outside of the mansion belonging to the church's religious leader.
Charges include forced labor, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. That church leader's so-called second in command is also charged and faced a judge in federal court this afternoon. And that's where we find Spectrum Bay News 9's Sandra Weathers. Sandra, what have you learned?
Well, that suspect, Michelle Brannon, she was taken into custody here in Tampa, and she faced a judge today thinking she was going to get bond, but then she told the judge she was supposed to be being represented by attorneys that were paid for by the church. But when court officials reached out to those attorneys, they say they got no answer. None of the numbers are working. So the suspect is now going to have to try to find a lawyer for tomorrow to try to see if she can get bond. It is just one of the many twists in this case. Investigators say this $8.2 million Tampa mansion is one of many locations where a religious cult ran a forced labor and money laundering scheme for years.
Lift your hands and say, Lord, give me revelation right now.
This video just uploaded Sunday of David E. Taylor delivering a sermon from his Kingdom of God Global Church, formerly known as Joshua Media Ministries International, is part of what federal prosecutors say he used to turn his followers into victims of labor exploitation, psychological abuse, and threats of violence. Reportedly forcing his followers, who he referred to as armor bearers, to work and live in his call centers for no pay in an effort to raise thousands of dollars from people who called into the ministry's prayer hotline. In one instance, Taylor reportedly threatened members to raise $164,000 or be punished with no dinner, pouring cold water on victims' faces and forcing them to stay awake until 4 in the morning and be back up again at 8 a.m.
Thank you for calling Apostle David E. Taylor's executive office and his 24/7 miracle prayer line.
When we called the church's hotline, we were greeted with this message, and then someone came on the line ready to connect us with someone for prayer. According to this indictment, Taylor didn't act alone. On the JMMI website, Michelle Brannon is listed as his spiritual daughter and executive to the ministry, but court documents refer to her as his second in command. She reportedly made sure victims followed all the orders from Taylor under threat of violence and condemnation. Victims were cut off from their families and weren't allowed to leave the properties without permission, according to documents. According to reports, the suspects reportedly raised more than $50 million in a scheme that lasted more than a decade. Now you see that video that was taken at that Tampa mansion. There are two cars there where you see big bows on the top. Those are some of the luxurious items that federal authorities say these suspects are accused of using that money to pay for. Again, that suspect, Taylor, the church's pastor, is arrested in North Carolina and expected to face a judge. This case is expected to be tried in Michigan, one of the several states that this church has different properties in. Of course, this is a story we will continue to follow and bring you more updates. Reporting live in Tampa, Sandra Weathers, Spectrum Bay News 9.
I was going to talk about this story on my other channel, my Detroit channel, but hey, I'll do it on this one. I have forgotten. I seen it come up again. So basically, this case carried out. I don't know if they said it in the video before. Out there in Taylor, Michigan, Houston, Texas, and I think in Florida are where this ring ran through, right? And this is with a church. David E. Taylor, I think Michelle Brannon was his associate. And Taylor, Michigan is like that's the capital of baby mamas. Real talk. Like, that might be the U.S. capital of baby mamas. Like, that is baby mama land. That's what I call Taylor. You meet a girl and she stay in Taylor, she definitely got a baby mama, a baby daddy. She definitely a baby mama. Shout out to all y'all ninjas staying in the ponds. Yeah, I'm familiar. But hey, check out the current news playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. So basically, they ran a cult slash call center. So basically, they were forcing people, to work this call center, and they said they would either, allegedly would even say they not feeding them unless they reached a donation quota, and obviously they used those donations to splurge on themselves. These people weren't allowed to get outside jobs. They weren't allowed to speak to loved ones, and they worked for the church. And my thing is this, like how do you even get in this position? Like, did they have y'all like with choppers to y'all head, or, you know, I'm pretty sure, yeah, you come work for us, we make sure you good. And then what they do, slam the door, and they keep y'all in like dormitories, or they follow y'all home. How did y'all pay y'all bills? I mean, did at the end of the day y'all stay in their quarters? And like, come on, how did you even get in that predicament, bro? How did you, as in the majority, I believe they were all women. I could be wrong, but when I read and what I heard, they all were women. So when you look at that, and that all being women, and that's how, you know, at the end of the day, this is why y'all need husbands, bro. This is why y'all need husbands, man. And this is why people losing faith in the church. When you misuse funds, you misuse your members. A lot of these people was their members, and it wasn't even like you was kicking back to them. Wasn't even making sure you okay. Yeah, all right. But you got to ask yourself, how does one get in this position? At this point, if you're going to kill me, kill me. I'm going to walk away. I'm not about to be, oh, y'all not eating today if y'all don't reach $164,000. And man, please. Mostly only women are that gullible to even be doing that, bro. Like, why you don't think it's like a female pimp that pimp gigolos and make a lot of money? Yeah, I mean, obvious for the obvious reason, you know what I'm saying? You know, punani sale, but it's a bunch of women who spend money on ding-a-ling. We all know that. But the reason why is because women can be easily manipulated. I mean, that's how you destroy people. You know, back in the day, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all these different other people, we had proud black bottom in Detroit. We had proud black communities, man. We had proud black communities, and they destroyed them. They told lies and said we stole from their white communities, and we did stuff to their women that we didn't even do. But that was their justification to come in and destroy what we built. You know, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they dropped them bombs on them. And you know what I'm saying? Them brothers was in there scrapping and fighting, and they had to drop bombs on the brothers. On the brothers, they had to drop bombs on them. That's how much they was putting hands, foot, and toes on Brad. You know, but I mean, how do you like? I mean, you know, but that's why women are gullible, bro. Use women to destroy society. What have they done? They use feminism to destroy the population rate. They use feminism to destroy the black community. They use the women against the men. And even though logic and statistics, and you can just look at your visual and look what it's doing, you know what I'm saying? You know, women, they know one thing about women. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. They don't want to wave the right flag. They'll do anything but to say, I'm sorry and I apologize. And this is why they end up getting pimped, because they don't have a man leading them. This is why they get taken advantage of when they go to the car shops and the car lots. This is why they go to church and they get manipulated and get in a situation like this. It's the God honest truth. No husband that's worth two dams and a what is going to allow this to happen. And they did all this for selfish gain. They facing 60 years in jail. David E. Taylor's 50 years old, 53 years old, they said. This ran across 3 states, Florida, Michigan, and Texas. Don't believe in the word of God, bro. Instead of going to get a job, instead of, you know, practicing what you preach and walking a righteous path, this is why you can't get. That's why nobody believe in nothing no more. Don't nobody believe in anything. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in the Bible. And I seen this been a few NFL players or sports players that said they start reading the Bible themselves and they didn't know a lot in the Bible. It's a bunch of stuff, and I start kind of just peeping in the Bible about things that's in the Bible. They will never preach in church. They will never preach in church And a lot of these YouTubers, all they did was modeled their strategy after church, pandering with lies and soft truths and telling half truths. They understand people don't, with females, mainly raising the men or the males out here and not having no father figure. The males have been raised, right? The males have been raised not to want to hear the truth and not want to admit that they're wrong, and that's what's wrong with society right now. But, oh, buddy, he wrong if this is true. The feds raided him, and it's sad. When you misuse God like that and you misuse people that believe in your sanctuary like that, and you abuse the very same people that help build your sanctuary up, that's piss poor, bro. This really should be upper room penalty. He should be facing the upper room. And as another woman to do that to other women and be involved in that, you're terrible. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.